Okay, good morning, Mr. Dore.
Good morning, Mr. My name is William Wentworth Dore, known as Zhumbye Di Ggii. Calypso name I love so much.
Where did the nickname Zhumbye Di Ggii come from?
Oh, well, I was a very ardent listener of Calypso, and I loved Chalkdust. And he had a Calypso at one time, Juba Dubai. So I said, oh, that's close to a Calypso name. So I said, well, Zhumbye Di Ggii, just like that. My mother's name is Lucina Dore. My father was Ralph. He died. My mother is still alive. And they are all from Nevis, Charlestown area. I have two brothers and one sister immediate. Jeffrey, he's in Canada, Terry is in St. John's, and my sister Risa, she's in Canada. And many other cousins on the side, too numerous to mention. They spread to like the Prentice family in Brownhill and Church Ground, the Dore family, we're there. My parents, my father, he was a sailor. He sailed on a very big, at that time, very big so-called steamer, which traveled from about 3 islands down to as far as Guyana. And I think it was owned by the Stevens. And then shortly after, he left and he went to the Virgin Islands, where he got engaged in the hospitality, like working as a chef at times, waiter at times, wine steward at times, in a hotel by the name of Canal Bay in St. John's. And there he worked there for several years before he retired. My mother also did that. She was apart from her early days of sewing, she traveled to Virgin Islands as well and got involved in the hospitality sector before they retired. They all retired and are home. Well, my father died, but my mother is home now. As a young boy getting up, early morning, we go and we look, in those days, hog meat or goat meat, and then we bring water because we had water running through the pipe. So we had to get buckets and walk a good distance for water. Then got myself together, off to school. During school, I loved cricket and football, so I had those as my hobbies at that time. Back home, relax until evening, go to bed. The area I lived in, a very small area, like Happy Hill Alley. And we just had probably about 8-10 kids around the area. Like one Sylvester Griffin, we now call him Major. He's one of my best friends. His brother William Clifford. And they had some other boys, Kenneth and Earl Archibald. They went off to the United States and England. And that's about all the friends I had there until I went to secondary school, where I got involved with quite a lot of different folks from the country area, from the town area. One of my best friends was Hugh Rollins, probably because he was in Red House with me, but he was a very nice friend, close friend of mine. Tony Bancampa, very good friend. I attended the Charlestown Boys School for a short while. Then I went to Bazzard Boys School. And then I returned to Charlestown Boys School, then to Charlestown Secondary School. When I left school, I worked at the Treasury for a short while. And then I was off to Virgin Islands, getting involved in the hospitality sector, waiter, bartender, that sort of stuff in hotels and restaurants. And growing up, I was very staunch church guy. So I dealt with a lot of in-church services, like being an altar boy, sang in the choir, AYPA, Boy Scouts, and that sort of stuff. Well, I also was a member of NIDAX, which we used to produce plays probably twice a year, and I used to take part. So I was acting in several plays, can't remember some of them. Growing up, I had so many different activities I loved. I loved all the sports, cricket, football, I even loved netball. I love swimming, I love hiking. I was just in and out. Growing up, we used to go so many places, but my favorite was Saddle Hill. But the most challenging one was Mountain Top, Nevis Peak. That was challenging, especially if it rains. I adopted a policy that I would love to be an actor. And while I was in secondary school, I had some major roles to play in some of the Shakespeare's, which we did every year. And after I left school and was involved with NIDAX, I enjoy any part you give me. Whether it is comical, whether it is serious, any part you give me, I enjoy doing. Well, this thing is dying out now, but we used to Bazzard every Christmas, and that was fun. All the Christmas Day. We dress up in sometimes old clothes, sometimes a long jacket, sometimes we powder our faces, we get a band together, string band, move around from house to house, wish them a Merry Christmas and some toast, sometimes harsh toast, sometimes mild toast.
What various rewards would you get for those efforts?
Or sometimes we make enough money to have a party. Sometimes they give us a little snack, but most times they give us enough money to keep a party at the end of the day. We just go from door to door. Government Road, Craddock Road, Ramsbury, Overbath, up, down, until we tired.
Did your group have a name?
We just call ourselves the Bazzard Boys. We had a number of guys used to be with us. Mahawala, for example, my brother Jeffrey, Derek Walters, Shacks, and all the regular guys who hang out with us. We just get ourselves together, find a toast, get a big book, powder your face, we gone. In 1974, I got to Nevis late from Virgin Islands. But thereafter, every year, I either organize a troupe or get involved in a troupe. Sometimes I sing, sometimes I don't. But basically, practically every year, I'm in a troupe. I started singing Calypso because of the love of the art form, one. And then I was so much in love with the tune Sharky sing, Chalkdust. Slow, well put together, not a bouncy song. That is why I always love a slow Calypso. And I enjoy the lyrics. So I sat with pen to paper and I wrote a couple of songs. Some I don't even remember. And one would probably, or the older Nevis would probably remember the famous one, Granny. And that was an experience which started the year before. And I came back the following year and I spoke about it in song. I hear how they're planning for Zhumbye Di Ggii again. Well, poor me, them policemen want to throw my backside in jail. So I went and I told me great granny how all them policemen don't like me. I'm asking granny for protection, you know, getting cooperation. Them police, you know, they think they bad, but when I finish with them all, them going mad. Wait on all, you will see how me granny fix up Berkey. That's it.
Okay.
That's just the verse for the chorus and so on. I have about 4 verses. My greatest joy in Culturama is the Calypso show and the Parade of Troops. And I enjoy the Calypso shows every year, irrespective of who come king. I came Calypso King once, but that was Christmas. It was 74 Christmas. Parade of Troops, I enjoy every one because the reason why I enjoy it that much, because 9 out of 10 times, we make up our troop 2 days before or a day before them start the stuff. So I enjoy doing that. We might have an idea, but we put it together like 2 days before and we start moving.
Tell me about this. Describe this picture to the best of your ability. Tell me what was going on that particular day.
I look at this picture and I could remember that the town was kind of dead, so to speak, no activity. And then we got together and we said, look, let's hit the road. And I found this big branch somewhere along the line. And I said, Della, let's go up the road, man. And she went with the in front leading, I with this big branch. And then the mighty flamingo, he came on board. And a partner of mine, he comes from Culturama every year by the name of Alan Maynard, we call him Bun. And we just hit the road like that and we had the crowd following us with a little string band behind to the back.
So you brought a friend along with you. You want to tell us about your friend?
Queen Zola. Queen Zola of Harlem has traveled many a mile. United States, Canada, Virgin Islands. Don't talk about Sinkers. Now this doll is one of our favorite arms when we're playing cricket against Sinkers. We just put the dolly on the pavilion and the kitty channel got scared. I don't know why. They say that we are walking obia, but it is not so. It's just the feeling they got. And we put it to them that they're going to lose, and they lose, because Zola is present. So we travel with it back and forth to Sinkers. Well, we won some, we lost some, but the majority game we won with Zola on board. I've been to the States, Canada, Virgin Islands, St. Martin, Zola big. People just borrow Zola to go and come back with.
What is the Harlem Shelter and how did it get started and how did it get named?
Well, after my father decided to retire from Virgin Islands, he wanted to open a joint downstairs. So he was thinking about what should it be called and so on stuff. And then I believe that one Elston Wilkes was the one who said, let's name it Harlem Shelter. I think that was seconded by Calvin Howell. And so we stuck to the name Harlem Shelter.
There's a video I see online about, and it was done on the base at close to your residence. Tell me about how that whole video experience came into being.
Well, we were on the base, as it is called or was called, and just playing and singing. And there's a guy by the name of Monty Davis. He comes here, he used to come here every Culturama, and he just sing something, man, let me get a little video of you guys. And we just started singing. That was Bahaul's true, Culturama fever. And it was around the Culturama time. And we just started singing and enjoying ourselves.
To the best of your ability, name the individuals who were there with you?
I remember Bahaul. There's a clear gentleman there, that is Keith Archibald. I had a cousin from St. Thomas is there. A lady is there, I think she is a sergeant from Cotton Ground. I can't remember who else was. I wonder if Soken was there, I'm not certain.
What are your thoughts on culture / Culturama these days, presently?
Culturama is our thing. And we must expect that it's going to get bigger and bigger. Some say that we're getting out of the cultural aspect of it. I do not subscribe to that. Because if we stay in the cultural aspect of it, we'll be doing the same thing every year. So we have to move up, move forward. And as a matter of fact, whatever you do, whatever you portray, whatever you costume you build is your culture. So I have no problem with it getting bigger and bigger.
Evolving.
Yes.
Okay. What was your initial reaction or feeling or thoughts when you were contacted about being the patron for this year?
I didn't have any special feeling. I wasn't excited about it because sometimes when you expect something and it doesn't come, you're disappointed. So I said, probably one of these days they may recognize me, whatever. But I felt good. But to be overjoyed, no, not really. I just love Culturama and I would do anything to see that Culturama still there.
Any parting words or advice you would like to leave with the upcoming generations, the young Nevisians, not necessarily in culture, but just generally?
I would like to ask the younger generation to take a page from the older folks, because it seemed to me like they're going astray. They are not interested in nothing but, sorry to say, violence. They need to keep calm, be respectable individuals, look at society and see what society is doing and how can you do something better.
Same question, but specifically more on culture now. What advice do you give the young people coming up on culture, Nevisian culture?
Well, young people coming up, they have to start loving poetry, plays, and that sort of stuff. And they have to get involved in designing and that sort of stuff. Think big, think like you could do something special. This is Culturama. Think, what can I do now? Ooh, can I dress like a peacock? Can I dress like something special? And learn to build what you plan to do. Build on it.
So, how do you spend your day these days?
Well, I have a little business there in town, Harlem Shelter. I still operate it. My name is William Zhumbye Di Ggii. I live at Harlem Shelter in Nevis. And I must say before I go, I thank the Secretariat at the Culturama office for inviting me, encouraging me to be the patron for this year's Culturama. I was approached a couple of years ago, but because of the pandemic, he had no Culturama. So I'm grateful that I was still in mind, and here am I, patron this year, 2022. I thank everyone involved.
Thank you, Mr.
Culturama fever taking